So, okay, so now I'm going to go to Jan's perfect human experience, because we've all done it, but it's really exciting for me. All right, so we all know about this short satirical film, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Jorgen Lath investigates the perfect human like a scientist. He asks, what does this guy look like? Well, he has to be beautiful, he has to be young, he has to be bougie. Where is he? He's in a room. It's boundless and radiant with light. How does he function? He gets ready. He sleeps. He falls. He makes love. He eats dinner. And while he eats this dinner, Lath asks, or the narrator asks, what he's thinking. So in the middle of the dinner, the woman he's with mysteriously disappears. And he asks why she's left him. This is a film. This is a clip from the film. And you can see, yes, why is fortune so capricious? Why is joy so quickly done? I realize, of course, the perfect human has to be beautiful and well-dressed and love to dance. But he also has to have this existential questioning of loneliness, this fear of being alone. We need other people to affirm our own existence. This is an integral part of being human. So, my new goal with the film was not to update what is the perfect human, but what is the perfect human of today. So, according to Sherry Turkle, it used to be, I have a feeling, I want to make a call. And now it's, I want to have a feeling, I need to send a text. She suggests that we used to reach out and ask for assistance, for company, for companionship. But now we can't even develop feelings without someone else being around to share them with. The perfect human concludes his questioning with a comment on confusion. Today, too, I experienced something I hope to understand in a few days. In the midst of the unknown, the perfect human has hope. This hope for clarity or revelation or understanding, this too is at the core of the human experience. So I started my piece by updating the vintage perfect human's final words in the spirit of Turkle. Today, too, I want to experience something. Who will share it with me? My first project was a fake Facebook. I wanted to make a project that called attention to the time we spend connecting with others online. And I started by creating a fake Facebook character, Danielle. And the Danielle actually means God is my judge, so in French. I didn't know that, but I thought that was really suiting. All of her actions online, on Facebook, needed to show her desperation to connect. She literally needs the affirmation or interactions with others to exist, yet highlight her disconnect from reality, to steal Turkle's word. Sure, therefore I am. So, I used Daniel to exaggerate a life lived purely to share. I started posting, and I posted about this cute puppy and this homeless man, and she acknowledges that she doesn't have any change, but she takes a picture and posts anyway. If she shares, she's done her part. However, this piece really didn't work out very well. In order for it to be a success, I needed an audience, and who didn't know my identity. They couldn't be just Jaron and Nazim. So, so I moved on, and I decided in order to make this piece really successful, I needed to update the scientist of the movie. So scientists in the 60s, they ask questions, they collect and analyze data. But scientists of today don't need to ask the same questions. They don't need to do the same collecting, because our smartphones could do a lot of that for us. So my new goal, with the help of the smartphone, was to turn the perfect human into a dynamic set of data.
The perfect human application. To share and compare makes perfection attainable. Endless emails, perpetual photo streams, non-stop news, constant communications. We are always connected, so we're always held accountable. We need tools to help us navigate this information landscape and to better understand our behaviors, habits, and interactions. How else will we know how perfect we are and how perfect we can become?
So, now we can quantify our perfection. The perfect human application tracks smartphone user data to generate real-time, glanceable statistical analysis of a user's functioning based on quantity, not quality, and that quantity comes from the 6 categories of perfect functioning. First one is popularity.
Please like me. We used to develop friendships in the high school cafeteria, waiting in line at the coffee shop and frequenting our local bar for after-work drinks. Today, we hang out online. The contemporary perfect human uses social media applications to develop meaningful and intimate relationships with people next door or across the world.
Next, we have communication skills.
Texting is the new hugging. We used to have conversations about plans. Today we chat. It is the only perfect way to show you care.
Written skills.
Emailing, the modern coffee break. Today, the perfect human receives hundreds of emails a day, don't you?
Social life.
It's 9 a.m. Do you know where you are supposed to be? Managing a packed schedule is a true sign of perfection.
Looks.
Looks. It's what's on the outside that counts. But more important than looking good is sharing those good looks with others.
And finally, success.
Success. Cash is a thing of the past. We've all seen rappers make it rain in the club. But have you seen the investment banker flash his bank statement on his iPhone 5?
All right, so how does the Perfect Human app work? Because the modern perfect human does not have time to read, visual or graphical information is the only way to communicate efficiently with the perfect human. So, the Perfect Human application offers the user a variety of ways to view their statistics. First, Perfect Human receives a numerical score. This score is the sum of all the other scores from the 6 perfect functioning categories. Now, this user isn't synced with the social life or success because they probably don't have an iPhone 5. But how does the score, what does the score mean? So first, it's stored in the application's calendar interface, which should look familiar except for the easy share function, which allows you to share your perfection scores very easily with your friends and family. Anyway, what we can see here is the patterns and habits that are developing. Most importantly, this user is particularly perfect on a Saturday, not during the rest of the week. All right, this score is also used to compare to the average user's score. Now, this data is actually from Juran, one day, but she's really perfect, right? Well, not quite. When we break her down into the 6 different categories and look at it on a bar chart, here we can see that she's average, if not below average, in 5 categories, other than communication skills. You could probably attribute this to the fact that she speaks 3 languages. Anyway, further, the application allows the user to compare the scores within each of these 6 perfect functioning categories as a percentage of his or her daily total. And we can even see how this particular sample compares to the average. Juran is very perfect, 2.37 times more perfect. The interface would allow the user to break down each of the functioning categories and compare it visually in the pie chart, compare the numbers, and compare the percentages. The interface would easily show you which applications that you are using. Communicate. So this is Juran, right? Like, her percentage is twice as much. She's using, and she's spending 3/4. We can easily see 3/4 of her time that she spends functioning, she spends communicating. This is the interface for the communication skills. So now all of those text applications that you use, you can see them all. There's no gossip, miscommunications anymore. You can see everyone who you're communicating with, at whatever time you need. All the same place. Sorry. Written skills. You don't need to see an interface for that. Look, so this is something interesting that happens here. Juran's score happens to be a little bit higher than the average perfect humans, but in terms of points, but her percentage of functioning is less. maybe this is a good thing for her. Anyway, important though to note is that unlike Facebook or Instagram, you really can't upload pictures of like your mom or your, I don't know, favorite restaurant. You can only upload pictures of yourself through this application, and you get more points. So Duran's a straight female, so she gets more points for uploading pictures with Azim because he's a man, and she would get even extra points if she had something cute and cuddly in that picture, which she doesn't. So finally, the Perfect Human app likes to connect its potential, make potential love connections. So meet Duran. Last September, she scored 439. That was her average monthly score, scoring 4 points above the average perfect human. Meet Jeff. Jeff, on the other hand, had an average score of about 50 points below perfection in September. However, the Perfect Human application still suggests them as potential lovers. Why? Because they both scored a whopping 90% of their points in the looks function for that month, meaning both were posting an outrageous amount of pictures of themselves compared to other users. So who on average looks only accounted for about like 7% of their total scores. So they paired them together, and now they're in love. So, analysis. So Perfect Human allowed me to turn Duran into a dynamic set of data. Someone who was rewarded for quantity and not quality of her daily interactions. She was rewarded for building a life online and not in the real world. Today, I've shown you many things, but I'd like to just say that I'm really excited about discovering Wade Guyton, who has given me new meaning to this act, and allowed me to sort of think that there might be ways of bringing what I'm doing with painting onto the computer and talking about that world. I also want to say that the Perfect Human application allowed me to present a project that commented on the way we go through our daily lives, but we don't really build relationships on quantity. Do our relationships, emotions, communications need always to be realized face-to-face? Of course not. We've had plenty of beautiful and meaningful moments over the phone, and I can still remember texting late at night my first boyfriend under the covers, holding my Nokia and waiting for the screen to light up.